Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth, friends on this journey, tonight, I invite you to step beyond the surface. Let's go deeper than opinions, further than assumptions, and far beyond the tired stereotypes. What if I told you there's a part of human behavior, particularly the psychology of women, that once truly understood, could shake your very foundation? Would you be willing to listen? Not just with your ears but with your heart? The human mind is not a machine to be programmed, it's a living storm. It's a sacred fire, a beautiful chaos of thoughts, emotions, memories, and purpose, all burning within us, and in that fire, there are ancient truths that science now confirms. But the soul, the soul, has always known. Tonight, I want to reveal 6 powerful truths, 6 psychological facts about women and human behavior that will challenge the way you see the world. These aren't just interesting ideas, they're life-changing revelations, if you're ready to really hear them. Let me begin with something that might just stop you in your tracks. There is a gift, no, a power, that women carry within them. It's not loud, it's not always obvious, it has been whispered in poetry, hinted at in ancient tales, feared by the arrogant, and tragically dismissed by those too blind to see. But now, science is catching up to what the human spirit has always recognized. A woman's intuition is not some mystical superstition. It is not a myth. It is biological brilliance wrapped in quiet strength. Psychologists, neuroscientists, and researchers have uncovered that women are uniquely wired. Their emotional intelligence is not only sharp, it's razor sharp. Studies reveal that women's brains light up with heightened activity in the regions responsible for empathy, social recognition, and communication. This is not an opinion. This is hard, clinical fact. But please, don't reduce this to brain scans and statistics. This isn't just about research papers. This is about life, about love, about leadership, about legacy. Because when a woman walks into a room, she's not simply seeing with her eyes, she's perceiving with her entire being. She senses the unspoken. She feels the shift in energy, the hesitation in your words, the weight behind your polite smile. Long before you speak, she's already read the story written all over you. And yet, how often is this extraordinary ability brushed aside? How often is it dismissed as being too emotional or overthinking? Let me tell you, this is not emotion out of control. This is discernment. This is intelligence. This is survival instinct, sharpened over generations. A woman's intuition is that quiet, persistent whisper that says, something's not right here. And sadly, that whisper is often silenced, ignored, or labeled as paranoia. But again and again, when the truth finally comes to light, what do we discover? She was right. She knew. She felt it before the facts lined up. Her design, her very system, is tuned to the frequency of human nature in a way many men, quite simply, are not. Why? Not because men lack intelligence. It's because we are wired differently. Intuition is not magic. It's the brilliant intersection of biology, life experience, and deep emotional memory. Women process the world relationally, emotionally, and with more powerful connectivity between the left and right sides of the brain. That means she's not just hearing what you're saying. She's reading what you're not saying. She's hearing what your body confesses while your lips carefully construct another story. She feels it in her gut, long before logic ever shows up. And here's the thing. Her intuition isn't just about reading people. It's about leading people. It's about making hard decisions. About raising the next generation. About navigating danger and knowing when to stand up for the truth instead of choosing what's easy. Some of the most powerful decisions in history weren't based solely on data. They were guided by that deep, unexplainable knowing. So, the next time a woman tells you something feels off, don't dismiss her. Don't demand that she bring you proof. Don't wave it away as a passing emotion. Lean in. Listen closely. You may be standing on the edge of something you can't yet see, but she can. She may not have a spreadsheet, but she has wisdom, and that wisdom is sacred. It's not fantasy. It's not folklore. It's the echo of 1,000 generations pulsing in her chest. Honor it, trust it, understand it for what it truly is, a psychological superpower, handcrafted by the Creator himself. In the intricate dance of human connection lies a truth so deep, It can change the way we understand not only women but humanity itself. Women are designed, both biologically and spiritually, to be masters of connection, empathy, and emotional memory. This is no accident. It is a divine architecture with profound implications for how we live, love, and lead. Let me introduce you to the role of mirror neurons, those tiny, yet powerful, cells in the brain that allow us to feel what others feel without them saying a word. Science shows that women have more active mirror neuron systems, which makes them astonishingly sensitive to the emotional waves around them. This is why women can walk into a room and immediately know if the air is thick with tension, heavy with sorrow, or glowing with joy. They read these invisible currents instinctively. And this sensitivity? It is not a weakness. It is a powerful strength. It's what makes women the soul of families, the backbone of communities, and the quiet peacemakers in times of unrest. Their empathy builds bridges where walls might otherwise stand. But there's more. Women don't just feel emotions intensely, they remember them vividly. Unlike the often fact-driven memories common in men, women tend to store their memories through an emotional lens. When a woman recalls a moment, she doesn't just remember the facts, she relives the feelings, the colors, the sounds, the heartbeat of that experience. Think about it. Her memories aren't just records, they are living stories woven into her heart. This is why emotional wounds may linger longer with women, but it's also why moments of love, kindness, and joy are cherished so fiercely. This emotional memory is not a burden, it's a compass. It shapes wisdom, sharpens decision-making, and strengthens bonds. It's why women often lead, heal, and protect in ways that integrate both the mind and the heart. They do not simply solve problems, they bring the human soul into the solution. In a world that races toward logic, efficiency, and quick answers, we must remember, without emotional intelligence, without the wisdom of memory, our decisions are dangerously incomplete. So today, I urge you, honor this gift in the women around you. Cherish their ability to feel deeply, to remember richly, to lead with both strength and softness. This isn't just psychology, this is an awakening. This is an invitation to embrace what it truly means to be human. Because in the end, we don't just need faster answers, we need deeper understanding. We don't just need strategies, we need empathy. We don't just need memories, we need living stories that bind us together. And women, by beautiful design, are the keepers of those stories. As we've uncovered, a woman's intuition isn't a myth, it's a sacred power, a psychological masterpiece. But what fuels this power even further is something most people overlook: silence. Yes, silence, and the unspoken feelings that quietly linger beneath the surface, hold the key to understanding women's extraordinary gift. Beneath their calm expression, beneath the words spoken aloud, there exists a rich emotional archive, a living map that guides them through the maze of relationships, tough decisions, and life's unpredictable challenges. This emotional archive is not a burden to carry. It's a powerful compass that offers clarity where others see only confusion. This is why memories of pain, betrayal, or disappointment often seem to linger longer in women, not because they are trapped in bitterness, but because their brains are naturally designed to hold onto the full story. They don't cling to these memories to punish or to hold grudges. They remember to protect themselves and to shield those they love. Emotional memory, for women, is like a vigilant guardian, constantly sensing danger, steering them away from harm, and building bridges of trust where it's safe to walk. But this remarkable emotional memory doesn't stand alone. It works hand in hand with another truth about human communication, one that most of us ignore. Words, as it turns out, are just a small part of what we use to truly connect. In fact, research shows that only about 7% of our communication is delivered through actual words. Can you believe that? A staggering 93% is shared through tone of voice, facial expressions, posture, body language, the subtle, silent gestures that speak volumes without uttering a sound. This means that how we say something often carries far more weight than what we actually say. Women, blessed with razor-sharp emotional sensitivity, are naturally attuned to these quiet, invisible signals. They don't just hear conversations, they read them. They don't just listen to words, they sense the truth beneath them. Picture this. When a woman hears the words, "I'm fine," but notices the tension in your jaw, the tightness in your shoulders, or the sadness hiding behind your eyes, she doesn't just accept your words at face value. She decodes the message your body is silently screaming. She reads what's unspoken with astonishing precision. This is not a lucky guess. It's not wishful thinking. It's a psychological skill, a deeply ingrained ability shaped by both biology and life experience. If you think you can hide your true feelings behind polite words, you are not only underestimating her, you are misjudging the very fabric of human connection. She sees through the mask because she was designed to connect emotion with expression. This gift equips women to move skillfully through the delicate web of social dynamics. It gives them the ability to mediate conflicts, to offer comfort to the hurting, and to bring peace to fractured relationships. It is a sacred responsibility, a blessing that carries with it both incredible power and undeniable weight. Now, some may try to dismiss this, to reduce it all to hormones, as if that somehow weakens or discredits the strength of women's emotional depth. For generations, there's been a tired narrative that hormones cause instability, emotional storms, or irrational behavior in women. But that is a shallow lie, one as old as time and just as false. The truth? Hormones don't make women weaker. They make women wiser. These biological messengers unlock a vast emotional range that is essential for authentic connection and enduring resilience. Take oxytocin, often called the love hormone. It's not simply a chemical, it's a force that builds bonds of trust and forges deep emotional connections. Estrogen and progesterone shape moods. Yes, but they also cultivate a powerful capacity for nurturing, for healing, for leading with compassion. For too long, society has misunderstood and even feared these natural cycles, labeling them as chaotic forces to endure. But in reality, these hormonal rhythms are gifts. They bring depth, they bring wisdom, they allow women to engage the world not just with their minds but with their whole being, with intellect and heart working in seamless harmony. This is why women excel in roles that demand emotional intelligence. Whether they are nurturing children, leading organizations, resolving conflicts, or holding families together, their emotional depth is not a hindrance, it's a superpower. It is not softness, it is quiet, unshakable power, the kind that builds communities, sustains families, and even holds nations steady in times of crisis. So the next time you see a woman expressing her emotions, remember, it's not a flaw, it's not weakness, it's not instability, it's the beautiful symphony of her mind and body working together, a divine design where psychology and spirit meet to shape the world in both visible and invisible ways. This is a call to honor her strength, to respect her insight, and to recognize the profound psychological gifts she carries. And perhaps, it is a challenge for all of us, to listen more attentively, to see more clearly, to embrace the complexity and richness of what it means to be fully human. Because when we do, we begin to step into a new way of living, a way that values empathy, that honors emotional wisdom, that cherishes the unique ways women lead, nurture, and heal. Let's not forget, what most people miss is this: the majority of human connection is silent. It's in the glance, the hesitation, the trembling voice that betrays hidden pain. Women are the masters of this silent language. Imagine the power of walking into a room and instantly feeling the emotional atmosphere, the weight of grief, the pulse of joy, the tension of unspoken conflict. Women do this instinctively, not because they guess, but because their brains are brilliantly wired to see what others overlook. This extraordinary ability is not a burden, it is their gift to the world. Yet with great sensitivity comes great responsibility. To feel what others suppress, to carry what others hide, to be the keepers of stories too heavy to speak aloud. But do not mistake their strength for something born of struggle alone. It is rooted in biology. It is guided by hormones like oxytocin that weave trust and connection, estrogen and progesterone that sustain resilience and emotional depth. These are not forces of chaos. They are rhythms that bring balance and meaning to every part of life. When women lead, they lead with purpose, driven by something far greater than personal gain. They lead to build, to protect, to heal. Studies show that when a woman is anchored in her purpose, her stress decreases, her health improves, and her capacity to impact the world expands. She is not chasing applause, she is pursuing purpose. This deep emotional wisdom, This hunger for meaning, this profound biological wiring, it is all part of something bigger. It is the intricate, sacred design of a creator who made women to be guardians of truth and weavers of human connection. So when a woman tells you something feels off, pause. Don't dismiss her. Don't rush to ask for proof. Listen, lean in. Her intuition is not a guess. It's the culmination of biology, life experience, and spiritual insight working together. This power, this beautiful convergence, has safeguarded families, held communities together, and quietly shaped the course of history. We must honor these truths. We must treasure these psychological gifts that science now finally begins to validate. Because when we embrace this understanding, we unlock a more complete vision of humanity, a world where emotional intelligence is celebrated, where women's strength is fully seen, and where empathy leads the way. This is more than knowledge. It's an invitation to awaken, to see more, to hear more, to walk in deeper respect for the extraordinary design within every woman. We've journeyed through the silent language of emotions, through the unspoken wisdom that women carry within them. Now, let's go even deeper, because when we truly pay attention to the gifts women bring, it doesn't just expand our understanding, it changes everything. It softens our hearts, sharpens our minds, and transforms the way we live, love, and lead. There's a profound truth about the minds and hearts of women, a truth that often goes unnoticed, unspoken, and tragically underestimated. But when we dare to look closely, beyond appearances, beyond old stereotypes, we uncover something extraordinary. What we find is breathtaking. Women are biologically and psychologically designed with a unique strength, a special kind of power that shapes how they perceive, how they connect, and how they lead in the world. At the very center of this strength is intuition. Some call it a sixth sense. Others whisper about it as though it's a mystical gift. But let's be clear, this intuition is not superstition. It is not magic. It is a biological superpower, deeply embedded in the intricate wiring of the female brain. Scientific studies reveal that women's brains show significantly higher activity in the regions responsible for empathy, social awareness, and memory. This means that when a woman senses something is wrong, when she says, "I feel something's off," she's not making a guess. She's reading the invisible. She's hearing what has not yet been spoken. Her intuition is a highly sophisticated radar. It's not just built to understand, it's built to protect, to connect, and to guide. This is why women so often notice what others miss. They are the first to detect the emotional undercurrents. They can see what's not being said. They can hear what's trapped in silence. This intuitive power is deeply linked to something remarkable in the brain: mirror neurons. These special brain cells give women the ability to literally feel what another person is feeling. Through these neurons, women can emotionally experience another's joy, sorrow, fear, or excitement as if it were their own. It's this biological gift that so often makes women the heartbeat of families and the glue of communities, the ones who carry empathy like a torch, lighting paths through division, through pain, and through the darkness of misunderstanding. But it doesn't stop there. This emotional connection runs even deeper. Women remember differently. They carry what is known as emotional memory. When a woman recalls an event, she does not simply remember the facts or the words spoken. She remembers the tone, the glance, the energy in the room, the emotional atmosphere that surrounded that moment. Her memory is not a cold archive. It is alive. It is vivid. It pulses with the feelings of the moment itself. This is why wounds can sometimes linger longer for women. But it is also why moments of kindness, love, and connection are cherished with extraordinary depth. Understanding this emotional memory helps us see why women approach life and relationships with such unique care. They carry the past, not to hold grudges, but to protect themselves and those they love. They use their memories as a map, a compass that helps them navigate wisely and guard what matters most. And still, this would be incomplete without acknowledging how women communicate. Words are only a tiny part of the message. Research shows that only about 7% of communication comes through spoken words. An astonishing 93% of what we convey is shared through tone, body language, facial expressions, and subtle gestures, the language of the unspoken. Women excel at this. They read these silent signals with extraordinary precision. When a woman hears someone say, "I'm fine," but senses sadness in the voice, stiffness in the shoulders, or heaviness in the eyes, she doesn't just hear the words. She feels the truth. She sees what is hidden behind the mask. This isn't guesswork. It's not blind intuition. It is a profound psychological skill, a gift that allows women to navigate complex emotional landscapes, to offer healing in places where others might miss the pain, and to lead with unmatched emotional insight. And here's a truth that's long been misunderstood: hormones. For centuries, people have mistakenly believed that hormones make women weaker, more unstable, or less capable, but that is simply not true. Hormones like oxytocin, estrogen, and progesterone are not burdens. They are biological forces of connection, empathy, and resilience. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, weaves trust and emotional bonds. Estrogen and progesterone don't bring chaos, they shape mood, nurture compassion, and support the emotional strength needed to persevere. These rhythms, the natural hormonal cycles, are not obstacles to overcome. They are part of a beautiful design that equips women to engage the world with both tenderness and courage. When a woman leads, she brings this full, powerful combination to the table: intuition, empathy, emotional memory, and biological wisdom. And she doesn't lead for applause or status. She leads with purpose, with a fire that drives her to build, to serve, and to create lasting impact. Studies show that when women are connected to their sense of purpose, their health improves, their resilience grows, and their focus sharpens. Purpose fuels them. It anchors their actions in something far greater than personal gain. Women lead, not to stand on pedestals, but to stand on platforms where they can lift others, where they can make a difference, where they can shape the future. So I ask you, will you honor these gifts? Will you recognize the deep psychological brilliance, the profound emotional insight, and the divine biological design that empower women to be extraordinary connectors and leaders? Because this is not just science. It's a wake-up call, a call to truly see, to truly listen, to embrace the unique strengths women bring to the world. When we do, when we begin to honor these gifts, it will not only blow our minds, it will soften our hearts. It will transform the way we see women, the way we see ourselves, and the way we build our future together. There's a truth about women's psychology and behavior that too often slips beneath the radar of our everyday thinking. But when we pause, when we open our hearts and really pay attention, we see a sacred design at work, a beautiful blend of biology, emotion, and spirit shaping the way women experience life and connect with the people around them. At the center of this design is intuition, not some vague feeling, not a superstition, but a powerful, measurable ability hardwired into the female brain. Women's brains are deeply attuned to the emotional rhythms that flow beneath our daily conversations and interactions. Scientific research confirms that women's brains light up more actively in regions linked to empathy and social perception. Their intuition is not a random feeling, it is a highly refined compass. When a woman says something doesn't feel right, she isn't simply guessing, she is reading signals that most of us never even notice. Her mirror neurons, those extraordinary brain cells, allow her to feel what others feel, to experience the emotional world of another person in a deeply personal way. This is not just understanding, it is full-body empathy. It's what makes women the emotional anchors of families, the quiet healers of broken hearts, and the bridge builders in divided spaces. But empathy is only part of the story. Women's memories are uniquely shaped by emotion. They don't simply recall facts, they remember feelings, atmospheres, and the emotional weight of experiences. A woman doesn't just remember what was said, she remembers how it felt. This is why emotional wounds can remain tender long after an event has passed. But it's also why acts of kindness, moments of love, and glimpses of beauty are etched into her memory with incredible clarity. Her emotional memory is not a weakness, it is a profound guide that helps her protect, nurture, and lead with wisdom. And remember, words are only the surface. Studies show that 93% of what we communicate comes through nonverbal signals: our tone, our posture, our expressions, the unspoken language of the heart. Women are exquisitely tuned to this silent language. When a woman hears someone say, "I'm fine," but senses sadness or fear behind the words, she understands the deeper truth. She feels it, she sees it, This ability equips women to navigate difficult social dynamics, to offer comfort where silence would otherwise reign, and to lead with extraordinary emotional intelligence. Let's be clear, hormones like oxytocin, estrogen, and progesterone do not weaken women. They empower them. They form the biological foundation for connection, for resilience, for emotional depth. These rhythms enable women to lead with a unique combination of courage, compassion, and clarity. And when women lead, they lead with purpose. Purpose fuels their perseverance, sharpens their focus, and brings extraordinary meaning to their actions. They don't lead for ego, they lead to create impact, to bring healing, to shape something greater than themselves. So what does this mean for all of us? It means we must honor the gifts women carry: their intuition, their empathy, their emotional memory, their ability to read the silent language of life, their biological wisdom, and their purpose-driven leadership. These are not side notes. They are the pillars that hold families, communities, and societies together. When we embrace this truth, we move toward a future where emotional intelligence stands beside intellectual power, where the full beauty of human experience is celebrated, where women's gifts are not just noticed, but valued, cherished, and empowered. And when we finally listen, when we trust their intuition, when we honor their leadership, when we open our hearts to the depths of their wisdom, that's when true transformation begins. Because this truth will not just open your mind, it will open your heart. And that's where real change always starts.